At this point, we now get into our lecture segment, and like I mentioned before this morning, we're talking about undeniable and undisputed realities of life. So, of course, the week of Eid or the day of Eid is a very special day. It is a day of joy and happiness. But I want to bring you back down to earth a bit this morning. So during the course of this week, I was called upon to officiate over 2 funeral services. One on Monday before Eid, and one yesterday after Eid. And in between that, another friend of the family passed on. So 3 funerals during the course of this week. So by the time I got to the cemetery yesterday, all 3 individuals were literally lying one next to each other. They were buried one next to each other. So I stood there at the cemetery yesterday and I was reflecting. And I said to myself, really and truly, we all have to leave this world one day. And that is one of the realities of life, which is, in my opinion, undeniable. Some may say it was coincidence that all 3 ended up being buried next to each other. But I like to say it is fate. It is indeed the decree of Almighty Allah. And one day we also have to go as well. And as much as we don't like to think about death, death is coming towards us as well. And this is something that regardless of who you are, regardless of what walk of life you belong to, regardless of what beliefs you subscribe to, what religious denomination you belong to, one thing you cannot deny is the aspect of death, living and dying. Almighty Allah mentions in the Quran, Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every single person living on the face of this earth will eventually have to taste death. It is also one of the undisputed realities of the world that I don't think anyone will disagree with, is the fact that no one can escape death. Regardless of who you are, how strong you think you may be, how much power you may have upon the face of the earth, how much wealth you may have, there is nothing that you can do to evade death. And Allah speaks about that in the Quran. Allah says, وَلَوْ كُنْتُمْ فِي بُرُوجٍ مُشَيَّدَةٍ. Even if you construct a huge tower leading up to the skies, and right to the top of the tower you build one room with no doors and no windows, and you lock yourself into that room, still death will find you. Still the angel of death will find you, and your soul will be extracted when your time comes. The other thing that is undisputed, that is agreed upon across all borders, is that no one knows when, where, and how he will leave this world. And that concept is spoken about in the Quran. Allah says, وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتٍ. That no soul knows upon which parcel of land he will die and he will be buried. So those 3 individuals were buried yesterday at the cemetery. They did not know that they were going to be buried next to each other. They did not know that that was a parcel of land that they were going to be buried in. But that is something which is already decreed for you by Almighty Allah. And no one knows when he's going to leave this world, where he's going to be buried, and under what circumstances he will leave this world, whether good or bad. It is also an undisputed fact that no one knows what he will earn tomorrow. We may think we know, but really and truly the future is very, very unpredictable. You might be a pauper today, and then you are a king tomorrow. You might be a king today, and then you become a pauper tomorrow. You might be healthy today, and then tomorrow you have that health stripped away from you. Today you may be weak. You may be one of the downtrodden, but then tomorrow all of a sudden you get power, you get strength, you get rank upon the face of the earth. Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا. No soul knows what he will earn tomorrow. And you can't take your material wealth with you when you leave this world. You can't take the house, the car, the land, the money that you've got stored in the bank account. Those things you cannot take with you. So what can you take? You take the good deeds that you were able to do in this world. Another undisputed fact, accepted across all borders, is the fact that everything in this life is temporary. Nothing and absolutely nothing in this world lasts forever. Relationships, possessions, and experiences will all eventually come to an end one day. And understanding this truth can help you to let go of attachments and appreciate the present moment and find meaning in the temporary nature of life. Once you know that life is temporary, you will try your best to make best use out of every possible moment given to you. Another undisputed fact, accepted across all borders, is the fact that change in life is a huge reality. Life is in a constant state of change, and everything around us undergoes transformation. Whether it is the season, the changing of the seasons, the growth and the decaying of living organisms, or the ever-evolving society that we live in, change is an undeniable force. Adapting to the change and embracing it as an opportunity is essential for your personal development. And right now that we have exited the month of Ramadan, we are going through another change in our lives. We are now going through the process of readapting outside of the month of Ramadan. Learn to adapt and learn to take forward with you those things that really matter. Do not allow the change to distract you from what is of utmost importance in your life. It is also an undisputed fact, an undeniable fact, that in life, struggle and growth go hand in hand. Life presents us with challenges and obstacles that will test our resilience and push us to evolve. These struggles, though often difficult, provide us the opportunity for personal growth, for self-discovery, and the development of inner strengths. So as you go through the journey of your life, embrace the struggle and know that that struggle will propel you to higher ground. It is also an undeniable fact. It is also something which is accepted across all borders, that life and the future is uncertain. No one can predict, or no one has control over everything that happens in your life. We don't have control, as much as we may think we have control, as much as we may want to convince ourselves that yes, I am in control. Really and truly, we are not in control. Almighty Allah is in control. Unexpected events and circumstances are a natural part of life, and learning to adapt and navigate through uncertainty is absolutely crucial. Almighty Allah mentions in the Quran, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ. Verily you plan, but Allah also plans. وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. And indeed, Almighty Allah is the best of planners. So if something is unpredictable, you have to be fully prepared for that particular thing at all times. So if life is unpredictable, we do not know what is going to come, what is going to come in the future, whether good or bad, happiness or prosperity, or goodness and evil, we don't know. The onus is upon you is to be prepared at all times. Like a person who is going to write an exam, he doesn't know what is going to come in the exam, so he tries his very best to prepare in every aspect. So when the test comes, when the exam starts, he knows exactly how to maneuver himself. Almighty Allah reminds us, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Fear that day when you will be returned unto your Lord. ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ. And then every soul will be given full in return what he did in this world. So now that we have come to the end of the month of Ramadan, we have officially exited the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan and the Eid celebration is behind us. Let us begin to now pay attention to what is reality. pay attention to the undisputed realities of the world, and let's make sure that we prepare ourselves for the life of the hereafter. May Allah make it easy upon us, and may Almighty Allah continue to grant us opportunities to uplift ourselves and to become better individuals upon the face